At least you're in Austin. Well, you're not in Austin. You're in San Francisco, weren't you?
Yeah, I'm about 40 miles east of San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You've got a better feed than I've got. I can't get the AT&T internet in here. I'm on Xfinity, which is.
I have Xfinity as well.
Do you? Do you have
Oh
the
yeah, it's much
synchronous?
faster than AT&T.
Ooh, not here. Here it's best 2 gig down, but it's asynchronous, so it's only like 20 megabits up. And AT&T is 5 gig synchronous.
Oh wow, that must be fiber. They're fiber. We don't have fiber out here, so unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't have fiber in my where I'm living through currently, so same problem. What did I just see walk by? It wasn't a Roomba.
Oh, you probably saw my dog, I assume. I got
My
3
cat.
of them around here.
Do you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, we're good to go. Excellent. Let me So tell me a little bit about yourself, Scott. Everyone, by the way, just let everybody know that is watching. James is Scott. So yeah, he likes to be going by Scott. So if you call me, if you hear me calling him Scott, you'll now know that yeah, he likes to be referred to as Scott. So
indeed.
Great Scott. I'm
wish.
sure you've heard that so many times. Sorry, that's a bad pun.
Yeah, the other Scott on here that's like second to you in comments, I think, is actually the great Scott in this channel.
Yeah. Scott Williams is a legend. Yes, he is.
He's helped me out quite a few times. I am an old sales and tech guy. Lived in Austin, Texas for about 25 years, did a lot of tech stuff out there. Loved it, but moved back to Mississippi because kids move this directions, college and work. So I moved to follow them.
Okay.
Building a little website now. I've done this in the past. I've used RapidWeaver since about version 2, I think. Maybe 1. It's been a long time. And I've done a variety of things. It's usually been off and on, back and forth. Like not having to keep up with all of the HTML5 and CSS updates and challenges, and our RapidWeaver tends to keep me out of having to stay continuously up to date. So prefer it over WordPress and Joomla and the others at Moon. I've used all of those things and just prefer to have the simple control of RapidWeaver. Anyway, long tech history. So, but again, I do prefer, as you saw in the chat or the community thread there forum, that I do prefer to have written documentation.
Yep. And you know, I do have to admit, this isn't something that I don't want to do. It's just yeah.
I don't see how you have the time.
As you said, you know, I'm a one-man band. My son does help me out with support now. He's 19. So if anyone's emailing into support and you see Josh, that is my son. So be nice or else. Just saying. Okay.
I get it.
Yeah. And I do have to be honest as well. Like people have various teaching styles as well, right? And while I do have a book on RapidWeaver, an old one, right? I don't know if anyone ever bought that one. That was probably the hardest thing I've ever done because writing is so not my thing. But with that said, you know, I am working on, so, you know, I'm working on a version of Total CMS 2. I actually been working on it like really super hard. And I hope to have much better documentation for version 2. So just saying that. But
if you need some assistance, let me know. Maybe I can pitch in some volunteer hours.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Sure.
So, I mean, the whole purpose of today is just to, you know, help you kind of get over the humps because I'm not going to write a manual this week. Right. So just this is not going to happen. So, you know, there are a slew of videos out there. And yes, it would be great if they were more searchable and indexed. And I actually have some ideas around that. I'm not going to go into that right now. But what can I do to help you get over the Total CMS learning curve? First off, I think you're already using Total CMS on the website, correct or no?
I am. No, as far as using it, I am using it. What I tend to look for are use cases, best use methodologies, some understanding, some general conceptual things. For example, I've got the blog up and running. But what I don't is get ready to do, there's some components and pieces that I want to start using Total CMS to enable me to manage or edit the website itself. In fact, I have some ideas regarding feeds that might be of interest or might use too. I saw a post recently about a guy who wants to do that. He wants to have I think a common limited file that he actually edits that, and he uses feeds to then run that into TCMS to update the website. I did not get a chance to follow that thread fully, but I think that's kind of another idea that I've got.
Cool. Yeah, we could dive into that for sure.
The other part of this is I don't have feeds yet, just FYI, so that'll be totally new to me. The other part of this is that, right now I'm using it for the blog, and I was just getting ready to start using it as well that's why I started looking for documentation, was using it as well for the CMS parts of the website. In other words, fields on various pages. What are the caveats? What are the IDs? Yeah, you're big on the IDs for the various components. By the way, it'd be great to have a graphical or a central place that pulls up all of your IDs. That'd be really nice, and where they're being used.
Okay.
Because I start adding them.
Sure.
I don't know if that made sense to you or not.
No, it does. Well, it does. I have plans for that on the admin side, so you can like see everything that you have in the CMS. But there's currently no map to the content side because you can use it anywhere. But
right, not just the CMS side, also the foundation. Because you use all of those, all those classes. You kind of like a class browser, if you would, that shows all the classes actively in use. That'd be really, again, lists. I love lists.
There are plans for that as well. That might be a little further out, but yeah, there are plans for that.
Wow. How do you have time to do all of this?
I don't know. And the reason I was a little bit late today, if you don't know, my wife's been in Brazil for 6 weeks. So
I didn't know.
Yeah. So and I have 3 kids. So like having to deal with everything around the house, cooking and cleaning and running everything here. So I was exhausted. I actually took like a 30-minute nap and woke up about 10 minutes before this and was like, okay, I'm ready to go now.
So you don't have time to practice darts, right? So I'd love to get you to a dart game.
I wish. That dartboard sadly has been unused right there. Yep. Very
so you're
sadly.
up for a game of winner takes full lifetime licenses for all the workman stuff?
Funny.
All right. So where do you want to start out with this thing? What can I do on my end here to help you out?
Why don't you share your screen and give us a tour on what your what you've built now, and then like kind of ideas on where you would like to what
First
you would like to do.
I am a terrible designer. I'm better at taking other people's designs and implementing them. That's what I've always done.
We're not here to chastise anybody. I'm not a great designer either. Sometimes I make things look pretty, and it's 100% by accident. So
let me see here. How do I have not used Zoom in a while. So
there's a green button at the bottom of your window. So share screen.
There it is, right in the middle. All right. So it would be this desktop, which is, I guess it's going to be, let's see if this is the right desktop. Sorry, open system.
No worries. Oh, you might have to enable the accessibility and system preferences and restart Zoom. So you might have to you'll have to take a little respite and leave and be right back.
Maybe. It says, "Yep, I got to quit Zoom."
Yep, no problem. We'll see you in 30 seconds. I'll fill in the space while you're gone.
All right.
Hey everybody, thanks for popping on today. Matt, Lenny, Sean. It's always great to see you guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. Some really good questions on the communities lately, guys. So yeah, keep it up. It's been awesome. And Total CMS 2, been working really hard on that. I got a completely new algorithm for pulling out EXIF data from images this morning, kind of finalized that. Well, sort of finalized. I implemented the EXIF code, but now I need to integrate it back into the Total CMS. But Davide's here. Sweet. Dave, thanks for popping on. Always appreciated. you guys don't have your conference ticket yet, we're 1 month away, 1 month and 2 days away. Or is it 2 days? Yeah, something like that. Summit.weavers.space. Check it out. It's going to be a blast. Dr. Bob, Gaston, thank you. It's good seeing you guys. There we go. There's Scott. He renamed himself.
Got it.
So now that you renamed yourself, I got to call you James. No, just playing.
Yeah, I caught that the thick of time through. Like I said, thankfully, it has been a while since I have used Zoom. There we go.
Wait.
There you go. How does that look for you?
Looks perfect.
I wish I had.
Are you running the Ventura beta?
I am.
Oh, check you out.
I've been running Apple betas.
I just noticed the stage manager thing that would kind of caught my eye. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I've been running Apple betas for a long time. Still, fact is, an old beta tester. I'm still upset over FrameMaker being bought by Adobe and wiped away. You don't know what that is, do you?
I don't know what FrameMaker is, but I'm not surprised. They just acquired Figma. It'll be interesting to see what that happens with that.
They'll ruin it.
Yeah.
No surprise. All right. So what can we do?
Why don't you give us a quick tour of what you got now, and then how you'd like to either enhance that or, questions that you have to make it better.
You've got it. Okay. I've got a website here, guys. I'm starting up. It is a semi-retirement project. It is a website that is targeting. I live in hurricane country and have most of my life. I've done a lot of bugging out, but I'm not a prepper. And it seems like on the internet, there's only one type of evacuation assistance, either government or it's the guys who build entire bunkers and stock it with years worth of food. So this website is designed to be sort of an affiliate type to generate revenue, to monetize it, site with some advertising on it. I'm using AdStare at the moment, and Amazon, Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, and maybe some other affiliates, with the idea to write some blogs, test and review products, the typical type site, nothing unusual there. But it's aimed to be a resource, as a single place that people who might need to bug out and might want to do a little preparation before the next hurricane rolls through, which it looks like it might be Hermine. Looks like the next storm coming this direction. I'm mispronouncing it because I don't see it in my head. But Fiona's off and gone, but the next one's coming. And that's what this site's designed to do. So it's going to be a combination news, alerts. In fact, if you look at like right here, to the left side of the tropical weather outlook, I want these ads to go away when I have more data. By the way, that just started popping up, the duplicate meta tags. I'm not sure why.
All right.
But anyway, so the tropical weather outlook is just a place where I put some things. I like to make it easier because right now I'm going to RapidWeaver that's the easiest place to start with the CMS part.
Okay.
Obviously, TCMS is being used for the blog side, right? It's being used to generate, and you can see I've got a bit. I don't know what's causing this. I think it's a Ventura issue where these kind of disappear. Yeah, I know. If you it's not doing it, go to the next page and you'll see it. See up here?
Oh, yep. You have to click on it. Interesting. Check that out.
Little visual issue. Anyway, so I have that running. I need to make a better looking admin page. Let me get this out of there because y'all don't need to see all of those. I started. Oops, what happened here? Whoa.
Fun times. Look at that.
Yeah. I wish I could say it was Ventura's fault, but RapidWeaver has crashed my entire life using it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's always been a little bit buggy.
Hold on, really quick. What was that error that clicked away? Is it still up?
Which one's that?
The one that wasn't
behind. No, it's not still up. I'm sorry.
Go to your RapidWeaver preferences really quick. I'd like to see something.
All right.
Go to add-on. What other plugins do you have installed?
Let's see. What do you want to see? Stacks,
disable flow. What? I think that's
I can't
pretty
disable
old.
flow.
No,
I know it's
no, not
it's part of
stacks.
my history.
Don't disable Flax.
Sorry.
So
it's part of my history.
I understand it could be part of your history, but what happens is flow, I can't even remember the last time that ever has been updated, right? So plugins live inside of the application runtime. And so if an application doesn't constantly get updated along with your along with the OS, and it's a stale plugin. Now themes and stacks don't have that issue. Okay. It's plugins because they actually contain executable code. So if you have a plugin that is old, and I'll be honest right now, probably the only plugin anyone should ever have enabled is stacks. Okay. Nothing else. Disable everything but stacks. I even disable the built-in pages, but you don't need to go that far. Just because I like only seeing stacks when I click add page. But that's if
it reduces the memory footprint, I would use it because look, I started out using this stuff and doing away with most of the built-in stuff when blocks came out. Do you remember block share? I think it was Loghound and blocks, and I think you still sell that, don't you? Someone still sells that.
I am the owner of blocks, but I don't. It's not for sale any longer.
Okay. Anyway, you bought all of his stuff, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jonas.
Anyway, Jonas. There we go. I was going to say Jonah.
Oh yeah. I thought it was Jonas. Yeah, I thought it was Jonas.
You're probably right. I mean, I'm probably wrong.
So I mean, if you want what I do is I have stacks and the HTML page enabled. That's it. So blog, contact page, because I use stacks anyway, but occasionally I do use the HTML page. But yeah.
I don't know how these got changed. An update must have changed these two items.
So the default, that's actually a new feature in a recent update. Prior, it was PHP 7.4 was the latest version you had in preview. So that's a new feature, actually. So if you could set that to 8.1, that's really cool. I like that.
And well, we're supposed to be getting rid of all this stuff, right? And go into the new Stacks standalone.
Yep, Stacks Pro. And Stacks Pro uses PHP 8.1 by default. So we're good.
Good. All right. Anything else you want to see here?
I was supposed to say that. Shh, everybody. Shh. Okay, why don't you quit? Save that. It'll probably have you relaunch RapidWeaver again, but that should actually make RapidWeaver a little more stable.
That'd be good. What did it do there? There we go.
Okay.
I made a mistake. I bought this little machine and I got it mistakenly with only 8 gigs of RAM. So I'm have to change that. Yeah.
It's an M1 though. The M1s are amazing, but I don't want to get down that rabbit hole. That's
no, it is. But yeah, let's go on. Are you going to start losing viewership?
Yeah.
All right. So where were we here? The point is that I want this to be, yes, I want to monetize it because I got to have something for my time and effort, but I want to create a central place where people can go. You see here on the left-hand side, resources. I plan on having I haven't figured out the exact mechanism yet, which is why these are all in draft mode. They're not live on the site.
Okay.
But besides just news and blog and product reviews, I want to have a place where people can go and say, okay, I live in Colorado. I'm having wildfires. What resources do I have for planning, preparation, federal government, state, and volunteer resources? Now, because I'll be honest with you, in all the evacuations that I've done due to hurricanes, volunteer organizations were by far the most timely and useful of all of the resources.
I recently watched a little documentary on that and how the volunteer organizations, just blew FEMA or whatever government organizations out of the water in terms of not only what they could do, but timeliness as well,
effectiveness, so efficiency, timeliness, all of that. So what I eventually plan on doing is, and just giving away part of the product part of this, is providing a way for these volunteers. You see here, there's a volunteer section here, providing a way for the volunteers to promote their services and the areas and the kinds of responses they give, the kind of areas they respond to, emergencies they respond to, as well as for a way for them to ask for donations. So eventually there will be some sort of integration with, I guess, I haven't gone down that path yet, but I want 100% of all proceeds to go to the, whatever comes through, whatever donations are given, to make sure it goes right to the organization. None for me, none for the site, as little as possible for whatever tech I use. That kind of a thing. So awesome. TCMS Foundation, love it. Feeds looks like it might be a great thing to have in here to maybe even automate some of the components.
Yeah,
we'll see. That's why I asked you, as you recall, about the standalone app for posting by a phone or iPad to the TCMS database, as opposed to having to go on the browser or otherwise.
Oh, okay. Got it.
You remember that conversation?
Yes,
I asked you about Mars Edit and those guys.
Got it. I do recall that. Yes.
Yeah, because I want to go to some of the actually emergency areas that are disaster areas, and it'd be nice to be able to post directly from the iPad and iPhone.
Okay.
Whether it's videos or
whatever.
I
mean, you could do that with the web, via the web, or saving it to your home screen or something like that, create a super customized page,
the web.
But yeah,
I love the web, but it's the least common denominator and the most inconvenient.
Fair enough.
Okay. So does that give you an overview?
It does. Perfect. Thank you. So where are we trying to move to? Like, let's maybe we start at that homepage, that little area there.
Right there.
Yep. Perfect.
See, I've got a homepage with an admin core and a site styles.
Perfect.
That's
it. First thing I should say your project file is very well laid out. Good job on that. I do have to say it is nicely designed. So kudos to you on that. It is not, hideous. Okay. Great job there. Right. I'm serious. I mean, a little tongue in cheek with the hideous comment, but yeah. Yeah, good job there. Also, another thing that you figured out is, organizing your admin area into multiple pages is a great thing. It
good.
That is very good. So I do think it makes sense to organize, like, here's my content for my homepage, right? And if you have content specific to that, create a page in your admin area that has it. So good job there. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So I know that you're familiar with HipWig, okay? And that particular area on the homepage looks to be a style text box, I believe. I could be wrong. Okay.
This one?
Yes. Or is it marked
so
down?
It's just your
okay. Oh, it is. But you would probably like to be able to now in that area that's right there, would you like I'm just curious, let me just ask a few questions. Sure. Is that title, the Tropical Weather Outlook, always going to be that? Is it always going to be that?
Not always.
Okay. No. Okay.
These are designed to be, like you see the right hand, the frame one here is actually an iframe from the Homeland Security. What is it called? Let's see here. This bar is getting in the way, obviously. There you go.
Oh, yep.
Terrorism Advisory System.
Okay, so inside this, so you want to customize this entire blue box, or just the text area, or the images as well, or?
Eventually, as I get more content, I don't like it to be an advertising heavy site, but it had no other content that made sense here.
Okay.
So I filled them in temporarily with those. It'd be nice if I could turn them off and on as according to what I'm using and what I need.
Okay.
But again, that's not a requirement, but it'd be useful.
Okay.
Not sure I like this ad. Wish I had more control over that. Not sure how that fits my content.
Now, are those images, or are they like a Google Ads snippet? What is that?
Ad Stera.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, cool.
See, there you go.
Yep, perfect. Okay, so I personally, I like to, and my original goal with Total CMS, to be honest with you, was to manage the content.
Yeah.
Okay. So it purely just the content, whereas the style and the layout of your website is defined in your style and layout within Stacks or RapidWeaver to some extent, right? Or to most extent. So for those particular areas, if we want to start off with that text box, I personally see that as two potential elements. I think it would be nice to have a title and then content area. Okay. Now you could do that all within a HipWig. Okay. But then you have to make sure that the title is formatted with a particular header tag. Okay. And then you have to make sure that the content, is, the content is content. But by doing it all in one, let's say HipWig area, that's what me as the, now let's pretend I was building this for a client, right? I can't trust my client to be smart enough to put in a header and then make sure that it's an H3 or whatever, right?
Exactly. Oh, they might get creative.
Exactly.
Which is always challenging.
Exactly. 100%. Especially if you enable some buttons in HipWig and then they'll make pink on purple or whatever because they think it looks beautiful, right?
Yep.
And it doesn't. Okay.
Yep.
So what I would do, okay, is I would add in. Let's go ahead and add in. Why don't we add in some content? And you probably want like a container stack in one column so that I know you're using Foundation 6. So
yeah. So where do you want me to go back to the homepage or to the admin page?
We'll build out the admin area here really quick. Why not? So we'll add in a text stack, admin text.
Oh, admin text. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm doing a development.
Actually, we probably need two of them, right?
Header
one for the header
content
and one for the content, right? Okay. So let's go to the top question. One. Let's make this a header.
Quick question.
I'm sorry.
Can you timestamp it or have a timestamp? You see, I timestamp mine.
Yes.
If you'll notice, there's a little timestamp. That way people know when it's there. Is there a way to do that in here as well, or?
Like you want a timestamp when that particular bit of text was saved?
Dateline, if you will. So yes, sort of. When I posted that little report, that way people know how old it is, if it's out of date, if it's irrelevant.
There isn't a way to automatically do that right now. Probably the best way you would just type that into your text, like the date and whatever.
That's what I do currently.
Yeah. Okay. So this area, we're gonna make that the header of that, right? So let's go ahead under Total Admin General Setup.
Total Admin General here?
No, in the header text in your text stack, the settings. Let's look at the settings for that. It's the group Total Admin General Setup group settings group. You have it collapsed. Nope, in your settings in the text.
I'm sorry, I am so lost here for a second.
Okay, click on the text stack, your header. Click on the header.
Oh, there we go.
All right, in your settings, see there's settings group names.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry.
There you go, general setup. Okay, I just wanted to change the CMS ID, right? So, make a CMS ID that makes sense for this, right? Because it's going to be for this one particular area, and you can use it maybe on multiple pages. Maybe this could be on the sidebar and other pages too.
Now, quick question for you: since I have 4 columns in that status bar, what I call it, a status bar, I have 4 columns there. So I'm actually going to have 4 sets of these header and text blocks. Am I not?
So it depends on if you want to have a header for each section.
It would be every section is different.
Okay, there you go. Another option for this. So I didn't know you wanted to manage those as 4 separate sections. You could turn this into a blog, to be honest with you, right? And you just have blog post 1, 2, 3, and 4. And
just edit those blog posts.
And then just edit the blog post. Let's continue down this route, though, and then you can decide if that's something you want to do in the future.
That works.
Yeah. So give this a CMS ID that makes sense for you. Perfect. Okay. Now,
it should be header.
Yep. And then change the editor. We do not want HipWig editor. Mark text down. Exactly. You could check off marked. We don't need a format markdown for this. And the form height is going to be 1 line.
Form height is 1 line. Got it.
Okay. Yep. And then your text box. Okay. This is up to you whether or not you want HipWig or plain text. It's up to you. Now, Hipwig would be nice because then it would, I noticed that you had like your date was bold, right?
Yes.
So Hipwig gets you a nice bold button, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, because I have the formatting bars.
Exactly, right?
Gotcha.
So make sure the CMS ID is set to whatever you want, probably block 1 content.
Oh, yeah, sounds good.
Perfect.
I almost did a Xcode formatting.
Right. Now, if we go into the admin core stack, okay, you probably are aware, if you scroll down, we have the admin core Hipwig settings and all those buttons. Yep. Those allow you to enable and disable the buttons in the Hipwig toolbar, right?
Yeah, I discovered that after you pointed that out.
Yeah.
For some reason, I skipped right over it mentally.
But by default, I have minimum there, right? Bold, italic, underscore, and link. That's it, right? But you can enable all kinds of crazy things in here, okay? You can enable table layouts and image uploads and videos and stuff. I don't think you want that in this case, though. You just want that area to be a text area, right? So
correct.
I would say
I enabled that.
Yep.
I enabled that in the blog, but not here.
Perfect. Okay. Now, unfortunately, right now, these are a page-wide setting, right? So whenever you set this in admin core, it will affect all the instances on the page. In version 2, I'll probably give you the ability to override that locally as well for each individual instance. But for right now, this is a page-wide setting. Okay.
Gotcha.
So now that we have those two things set up, let's go to the home page.
Wish there was another way to do this rather than the sidebar. All right.
Okay. So let's add I know you're using Foundation 6. So let's go ahead and add in a header stack. Perfect. Okay. And we probably want, I'm assuming you have that as an H3. What is that?
H3 right now.
Okay.
This right here is set to.
Perfect. Oh, that's an
H4.
H4. Yep. All right. Actually, we'll continue with this. Yeah, go to H4. Set that to be an H4.
All right.
Okay. And then, are you familiar with the Total CMS macro syntax?
I am not.
Okay, perfect. So, if you go to, is CMS core on this page somewhere?
Yeah, hang on.
Probably in site styles.
Yeah, I think it's going to be in here, and I think I added it.
There it is. Yep. It's under features.
Yep, there we go.
It's okay. So if you look in here, you'll see that we have text macros.
By the way, okay, since I have site styles, no, I had a standalone site styles. Never mind. That's not going to interfere. Okay.
So you see in the settings, I have, those are all those macros are there for basically for copy paste purposes. And I just noticed the one I'm going to tell you to use isn't there. I know it's, so if you didn't have CMS core inside site styles, I hide it inside site styles. But if CMS core were outside of site styles, you'd see an entire legend. Just for fun, move that CMS core atop the site style stack.
Move this?
Yeah, just move it above the site style stack for right now. We could put it back. I just want to show you what, there we go. Okay. So if you see there, the very first Total CMS text macro is raw content, which is CMS data. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's the one we're going to be using. Okay. You can move the CMS core back into there. I just wanted to kind of show you where you can see where all the macros are for you.
Did I put it in the right place? No. There we go.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. So let's go back into that header and where the content is of that. Okay. We're going to put in % CMS data, capital D, parenthesis, and then your CMS ID. So I think it was block 1 header. I think it was. And then close parenthesis, close %sign.
Oh, okay. So %sign to your delimiters.
Yeah, percent. Okay. Yeah, %signs. Yep.
Okay.
And click that. Perfect. All right. Now I did notice inside that tech stack, do you have classes set?
This text set? Yes, I have one class.
Oh, okay. Why don't you go ahead and copy that class? Maybe we can put that in
I'm going
in
to
the header
drag this
stack.
out real quick. All right, you wanted to copy that. Okay, what do you want me to do with that? Put it in here?
Put it on the header. Yeah, let's.
All right.
Perfect. Okay. So now we have a header. Okay. And if you want to, well, there's no content saved. Okay, let's go ahead and create. So now we need to add the content area from the CMS into there. Okay.
Okay.
And to add just a block of text, the easiest way is just use the CMS text content stack.
And put that here?
Directly under the header.
Content.
Text.
There we go.
Okay. So with this one, you don't need to do the macros. All you need to do is put the CMS ID in there.
Gotcha. Which was
block 1 content.
Block 1 content. All right.
And then what we want to do is under display, okay, you'll see that there's various things. Now we are using HipWig. So what you should do is click HipWig there. Perfect. Okay.
Got it.
Now, in order to get the styling that we want, okay, what we're going to do is put that class in the class field there as well.
Put this class in the class field?
No, your extra, the one that you had on the header.
Gotcha.
Now, just curious, what is creating that class? Is it a text color swatch or what is that? Beautiful. Okay. So let me teach you something here. Okay. So, with the text color swatch, let's say you want to have that style of text on everything that's inside of extra content 1, right? Because you want all your headers to be orange, you want all your text to be white, and whatever other text colors you set inside that swatch.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So I assume that the status bar 4 columns has the class extra content 1. Is that correct?
I don't think it does, actually. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, basically what we want to do is we want to affect the text colors for everything in extra content 1, right? So if you go back to your text color swatch, just remove the underscore text from the class there. Okay, hit enter or tab or whatever. There we go. Okay. And now you can actually remove that class from the header and the text area there.
And here?
Yeah. We never added it to that one. So you can remove it from the header.
This one.
Yep, exactly. No, just remove the whole class.
Oh, remove the whole class. All right.
Yep. Because so our 4 column there, you have a background swatch that says make this a blue background, and then make all the text colors inside of it the colors you defined in that swatch. So we did it
because
all
you're inheriting.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay.
Got it.
The text color swatch basically applies to everything on the inside. And if you notice that header there is still orange, even though we removed the class, right, that we had on there.
Excellent.
Makes sense?
I need to get through and refactor this whole project, but we'll do that later.
Yeah, that was a little bit of Foundation 6 help instead of Total CMS, but yeah, I just cool. Okay, so next up,
good.
Next is let's go ahead and take the content that we had here and save it in Total CMS. Okay, so why don't you go back to go to the admin page that we had created and preview that. All right, let's go ahead and put in your header and your text content.
Let's see here.
Oh, I just noticed you'll probably need a save button on this page because Command S won't work inside preview.
Nope. No, it will not.
I mean, you can preview in the browser too, but and then Command S would work.
Save button, save. See, there it is. Just drop that in there, and we'll need a button. I need to learn how to use projects, by the way. That is my cat you hear.
I like that you use the title field.
Why is that?
Oh, and I'm not many people do.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't imagine not using it because these things get very repetitive.
Yes. I
Um,
think most people just don't take the time to do it, right? They think, oh, yeah, I'll know what it is, you know?
documentation.
Right, yep. Let's go ahead and go ahead and add in your header. I think you save that text so you could just copy paste it.
Minus the that. Oops. Cat, you need to go. And save.
And then you'll probably want to change that. You have mark down there, so you're probably going to want to change the asterisk and put that to be bold.
You are correct, sir.
And click save.
And so I just learned something. I did not. What?
You have your CMS license in Admin Core, maybe?
Yes. It should be everywhere. I thought. Where do I put
go
that?
Ahead. Go back to edit mode. We can just verify it's in there. Nope, it's not there.
Okay, so I need to go back to here, maybe. Yep. There it is. Oops.
Command Z.
What's that?
The Command Z.
Yeah, I live with Command Z. Cat. There we go.
Perfect. Now it should work.
All right.
Oh, but
the fun part, right?
Yep.
Cat, you're going to have to get down. It's actually my daughter's cat. She's a college student. And she cannot have the cat with her, unfortunately. All right. That works, right?
Yay! Hey, let's go to the homepage and preview that bad boy. Right. So as we see there, obviously there's two because you still have the old one there, but it's the same exact thing. And now it's managed by Total CMS.
That's much better. Much better. And I can just duplicate this for the rest of the world.
Correct.
So
now what you can do, like you have those ad snippets there, right?
Yes.
You know, you could have, you know, if you wanted ad snippets, maybe you have a generic, you know, ad snippet area in Total CMS. Okay. And then, you know, you can inject that wherever you want on the page, or you can use something like, have you ever used Toggle before? You could have Toggle that can toggle either an ad or a text area.
I have not, but I was thinking because I think some of your stacks have, or some of the stacks have visible and not visible functions in. Let's see. Let me go back just grab a HTML. And I think that some of that's not here, just not a feature here, but I think you have other stacks that have the ability to turn off, I guess Toggle is one of the ones you're mentioning for that.
Sure.
So I would drop the HTML side inside of Toggle.
For fun, here, let's do why don't you delete the old text area, which you don't need anymore.
Which is here.
Okay. Yep.
Right. I think that's right.
You got to delete twice.
Why do you have to delete twice? I don't understand that.
Yeah, the first one deletes the content. Yeah, I filed a bug for it. Okay, so what I'm thinking is inside Total CMS, there's something called a toggle, which allows you to turn on and off an entire content area. Okay. So in this case, let's say for fun, let's go ahead and go back to the admin area. Probably homepage.
There.
Okay.
There we go.
Let's create another. Let's add another text box on there. For your ad code.
Got it.
Okay. And give that a CMS ID of whatever you like, extra ads or something like that. I don't know.
Block. Let's see. Let's just call it block. Oop, you can't use capitals there, can you?
You could, but I tend to keep it all lowercase myself.
All right.
Okay.
Let's call it block 2 because that's where I'm going to actually put it, I guess, next.
Okay.
All right.
And we're not going to use HipWig. Yep. Turn off Markdown. And yeah, 3 lines height is fine. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and also add a toggle, an admin toggle to this page.
Just here.
Yep. And call this CMS ID of, I don't know, advert toggle or something like that.
Block 1. Let's see.
Block 1 toggle maybe, or something
block
like that.
2
Block
toggle.
2, I mean.
There you go. Close enough.
Okay. Yep. All right. So let's go ahead and copy that advert code that you had so that we can save that into the CMS.
All right. So go get the advertising code.
Yeah.
Sorry, what am I going here?
Sidebar.
I need to learn that shortcut. I have not learned that.
I think it's Command L. Forget now.
I keep going to the wrong one. Habits. All right. So you mean to put that in here?
Well, we need to preview this page.
Yep.
And then paste it in.
Okay.
And then click save.
And click save.
Perfect.
All right.
So now we'll leave the toggle off for now. We'll play with that in a minute. Now let's go back to your home page. All right. So what I want to do is for now, let's just use our block 1 content instead of trying to duplicate all that stuff. Go back to edit mode. All right. So let's add a total CMS content toggle stack above your ad snippet there.
Toggle content?
Yes.
Above my snippet. There you go.
Okay. And then put the CMS ID of that toggle to, was it block 2 toggle?
Yep.
All right. And then we're going to have enable the when off.
Enable when off.
Yep. So basically this is going to allow you to define different content, whether the toggle is on or off.
Gotcha.
Okay. So what we're going to do is let's delete that HTML stack that we have on the bottom there. Okay.
This one?
Actually, no, we can actually keep it. Just move it into, now, do you want to toggle the advert on or do you want to toggle the advert off? You determine whether or not you want it when the toggle is on, put the advert, or when it's off, put the advert. So move it into on or off. It's your decision.
This toggle here.
Perfect. Yeah. So let's move it into the on position. Let's move that HTML into the on position.
I'm with you. Okay. Now
now edit that HTML because we don't want the HTML in there. We want to put in the code from Total CMS, right? So let's delete all that.
All right.
And then we're going to put %CMS data, capital D.
I'm sorry, I did that again, didn't I?
Parenthesis. Right. And then it was a block 2 advertisement, I think it was.
Yep. Good memory.
Close parenthesis, %. Perfect. Click. Perfect. And for fun, let's just copy the header and the text from column 1 into the off position for now. Okay. Perfect. Alt drag. Okay. Let's go ahead and preview this page. So right now, if you remember, that toggle was off.
Yep.
Okay. So now if we were to go that and toggle it on, the ad snippet would be there instead of your text.
This is perfect. I appreciate the help on this.
So with toggles, you don't need to click the save button. Toggles just automatically save. So let's go back to home.
See, that's that kind of text information I need to have, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened there?
I don't know. Let's go back to edit. Once this goes away.
Oh, go to admin core on the home page.
We are on the home page. So admin core, which is in my partial.
Right. There is a no, not CMS core. I want admin core.
I'm sorry. Which I think is in the same place.
No, on the admin page.
Oh, on the admin page. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Here. This one or this one? This one?
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Okay. And it is there. Do we have, see, it goes away. There you go.
Okay. So there is a checkbox. It's on by default. Okay. Remove script and style tags.
Right here.
We want to turn that off. And the reason we want to turn that off for this page is because we're actually saving a JavaScript snippet. Okay. So by default, this prevents people from harming themselves, but we know what we're doing. And I know that I want to save the JavaScript snippet. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to save that ad code again. So go to preview this page.
Hit save.
Yeah, oh, interesting. It is there. Why don't you go ahead and select that and paste it again into that box and save it again. All right. Now let's try to go back to the
home page and review it.
Interesting.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah.
Okay. Toggle is there.
When it's
block
on,
to toggle.
Block to toggle. Let's verify the CMS ID of that in the HTML stack where the ad is.
Here.
No, double click on the HTML so we can look at the snippet there. Of the content. There we go. Block to advertisement.
Yep.
Can we copy that and then make sure that it's the same on the admin area?
Yeah. That would be here, right?
Correct. Advertising.
Block to advertising.
There. Why don't you just paste it there?
Yep. There we go.
All right. So, well, we're gonna have to, preview and then save that code again.
This time it disappeared.
Change it to advertising. Preview again. Copy it, and then.
What's that?
If you change, or is the snippet the same in block 3?
Yeah, it is. I can just go.
Okay, cool.
Put it over there.
Cool. Yeah.
No. It's the same advertising block.
Cool.
Code. Because it's just a rotating code.
Yep.
All right. It pulls.
And preview.
Yeah, preview.
Save.
Should be good. All right, back to the home page.
There we go. So now if you were to toggle that on and off, it would toggle between your ad code or a piece of text.
Excellent.
Okay. Now you could do this same exact thing like early. We're not going to build this now, but you could build a blog that has 4 items or potentially even more. And you can even like shuffle them and display 4 at random. Right.
Right.
And then each of those could be, a header and text content. You could also store ad revenue in there as well. Or ad snippets. And there's toggles for each individual blog post as well that you can access. So, you could use blog to build that out.
Which one is more versatile with the least amount of work, the blog approach or this CMS approach?
I think blog is a simpler and more flexible approach. Okay. Because then at that point, you can then use that in many different places. And it's really only managing a blog. Whereas this, if you notice, you'd have an ad revenue. Well, you would only need one ad revenue slot for the entire site, because now wherever you put that ad revenue macro is going to plop that in there. Right. So that's actually a good thing for you to have anyway. Okay. But to manage these content areas for individually, you need a header and a text area and a toggle for each column, right?
Which the blog I could design at one time and have it set
exactly. And then with blog, you have flexibility of having, maybe you have 8 different ones, maybe you have 8 alerts, I don't know, and then you just randomly go through them, or you display all of them, right? It's up to you. But
right.
And then with blog, you could also have the ability to you can set the date on it, right? Or set the date to when that is going to expire so that it no longer shows after a certain period of time. There's all kinds of different things you could do, right? So you definitely have a lot more flexibility with blog. But hopefully doing this, though, hopefully it opens your eyes to, what you could do.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It gave me a lot more information about how to use TCMS, and it's great.
Awesome. Okay. I know we had talked previously on Real Mac Forum and Weaver Space about blog templating. Okay. And I think
blog post building and templating.
Yes. And I think that maybe I wasn't doing a good enough job explaining it. Okay. So are you curious? Can you show me an example of a blog post layout that you would like to have, access to, when you create a blog post?
You mean like one of the ones I'm hoping to be able to generate?
Correct.
Oh, I'm not sure I can find one, but I'll see if I can find something. If I go to a typical news site and I had not prepared, let me see if I can find something. If I go to simple clipboard here and you click on a news site, I don't know which one to grab.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe ZDNet. And you'll see, well, oftentimes there will be not this thing here, but there you go. Advertising that pops up in your flow,
mm-hmm.
ever so often into your flow.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those would be nice to have that have that in.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Here's another one you see. There's another just pops up in there.
Sure.
It'd be nice if I could put content and then have it broken up around these. If I've got a really long blog post, that the advertising shows up every 2 paragraphs, roughly every 12 lines, kind of a thing.
Sure.
So that I don't have to manually add in advertising content in the middle of every one of these every time I do it. Maybe some I don't want to have any advertising in, or I only want to have it to the side because it's that kind of post.
Mm-hmm.
It's just being able to identify my layouts that I'm going to use on a regular basis and be able to choose which one I'm going to use, paste in the content, the images and the textual content tables, whatever it happens to be, and have the advertising or other types of components fill in automatically.
Okay.
According to whatever design I'm choosing to use at that time.
Okay.
And then save those. That's the templates, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then save them so I can just pick, okay, I want this particular blog post to have this sort of content layout.
Got it. So, and you would mention that you might want multiple possible blog post layouts, correct?
Yeah, that's the template, right?
Okay.
So because some blog posts may not, I don't want to have for example, if I'm reviewing a product, I don't want to have advertising pop in that might compete with the product that I'm reviewing.
Got it.
That seems to be out of my control then. And if I'm lucky enough to get sponsors, I can't imagine. I know I wouldn't be happy if a competitor's ad popped up in my review.
Sure. Yes. Okay. I have some ideas around that. Let me go and I'm going to share my screen, and I'll go ahead and show you my ideas around that.
Okay. All right.
Let me see. I think I have a blog. We'll just use this page. All right. Let me go ahead and build out this page a little bit here.
Go for it.
All right. So we have admin core on here. All right. Blog form. All right. Permalink. Let's just add some routine stuff into here. And contact. Right. And right. We're all HipWig. Oh, perfect. All right. So here I just have, this is obviously very simple. It's just a permalink title, summary, and content area. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and let's say that I want to have now if you were to use HipWig, you could build out HipWig. Actually, hold on one second. I need to add something. One key thing to this, to templating things, especially with HipWig, is we want to have to turn on the HTML button, at least temporarily while we're building our template. Okay. And while we do this, let's add a few other things. Let's just add in a numbered list. We'll add indents. Let's add a few other things here. Text style and align button. All right, let's do that. All right. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to quickly build out a dummy thing. Let's say this is my header. Okay. And let's say I want to make sure that that is a heading 3. Okay. And then I'm going to put in some filler text, and then
in your header. Okay.
Yep. Well, no, this is the summary area. This is a blog post. This isn't a header.
Oh, gotcha.
So I'm
I see the
adding
title
this
to
a summary area. Okay.
Got it.
Let's say I want to make this one a H4. Okay. And then in here I have bullet points. Okay.
Excellent.
3. Okay. And then we'll do just kind of show you. Let's say I know this is a very simple template, right? You can make things much more dramatic or whatever, right? But and also here, for fun, let's just do this too, so it's a little bit different. Indent. Okay, so let's say this is my my template that I wanted to have for this particular content area. Okay, what I can do is I'm going to go ahead and go to the code view. Oh no.
My world is infecting your world.
Uh-oh. That's interesting. All right. Instead of me trying to debug that, I'm going to get the code a different way. But I will look into that after this live stream. Okay. Not sure if I did something stupid, but let's just go ahead and pretend that worked. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy. I'm just going to copy HTML. All right. What this button should do is when you go to code view, oh, look, okay, whatever. All right, so there we go. It worked the second time. So if anyone gets that error, click on it twice. There we go. So if you see it, it shows us the actual HTML that HipWig is generating. Okay. So I'm just going to Control A. I'm going to copy that. Okay. Then I'm going to go into my summary and I'm going to say define default template, and I'm going to paste it in there. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and preview this again. And what we see is that that default template is now there by default. Now I have the layout that I built. All I need to do is edit the content now.
Gotcha.
So whenever I go to create a new blog post, this is a default content area.
But it's only for one particular template, right? I can't choose which template I want.
Yes, I haven't got to that far yet. Okay. I wanted to show you this ability. Okay.
That's cool.
Okay. Now this works great for HipWig. If you want to use HipWig, you have to put in HTML into here. Okay. So I recommend building out your template with HipWig, copying this code view, and then later on, once you're happy, you can turn off that code view because you probably don't want your customers maybe having access to that, right? So you turn that off because you don't need it anymore. And then when we refresh, it's gone now, right? But the template's still there. Okay. Now, obviously, blog has many different content areas. Okay. Summary is one. We have content. We have extra content 2, and media.
Now, explain extra content, because my understanding of extra content was a concept developed around, was it RapidWeaver 3, I think, or something like that?
Yeah, complete. Not even anything close. It's just
okay.
This is just an extra content area because we have we had content, and people are like, I want another content area. So my brilliance, I said, oh, I will give you an extra content area. So I called it extra content. Has nothing to do with what used to be from themes.
Gotcha.
It's just an extra content area. And then people wanted another one. So I added extra content 2. Okay. And then you can also use media. So media by default is one line, but you can make it another one. So we have access to a lot of different content areas in a single blog post.
Right.
Okay. Why does this affect your ideas? So your idea was, I wanted to have a bit of content, and then I wanted to have an ad, and then I wanted to have another bit of content and an ad, right? And I agree, it could potentially be nice if like we'd be like, after every 20 lines of content, we have an ad.
Yes.
And it's possible you could code something that does that with JavaScript. Okay.
Sure.
It wouldn't be simple though. I'll admit. I have potentially a simpler idea. Okay. And let's say I broke my blog post into three content areas, and in between content and extra content, I would have an ad. And in between extra content and content 2, I could have another ad. Okay. Does that make sense? So basically,
it does make sense. Yes.
Right. So on my blog post page on the content side, I would put in the content, and then I would have an ad, and then I would have extra content, and then I have an ad, and then I put the content for that. You know, does that kind of make sense? So it gives you semi-control, right? Over, I want to have this content and then an ad.
Is the ad code being pasted in as HTML inside of each of these content blocks?
So basically here, let's just quickly build that. Okay. So let's do blog content. Okay. So over here, let's just quickly do add site styles, and then we're going to add a container. Okay. And then we're going to go to Total CMS, and we're going to add a blog post stack. Okay. And then, so here you would add, content, extra content, and extra content 2. Okay. Then now remember, we already saved your little ad snippet to a global setting in Total CMS, right? So all you're going to do is you're going to go into and get an HTML stack. This one. Okay.
Oh, there. Okay. So it's not in the content. It's external stacks.
Yeah. So you build it into the now if you wanted, you could, if you wanted a special ad thing for that blog post, right? You could maybe have media use this field to store an ad snippet. Right.
Gotcha.
If you wanted something specific for this blog post. Does that
make sense? Out of curiosity, could I drop an OEmbed stack in here if I wanted to have, say, a Twitter couple of Twitter lines from National Weather Service.
Yeah. Well, so HipWig, if you're using HipWig, HipWig actually supports OEmbed. Okay.
Okay.
So if you go to admin core and you enable, or is it embedly? Okay. This will enable embed support for tweets and all that stuff right in your blog post content.
Okay.
Okay. All you have to do is enable this embedly link right there, and you're done. Okay. Cool. And if you don't want to use embedly, there is the feature baked into Total CMS that doesn't use embedly. It doesn't work on everything. It does work on Twitter though. And I'll admit I don't know the syntax off the top of my head. So
that's all right.
Embedly, if you're that works, then embedly works, and it will just see that you put a Twitter URL in there, and boom, done.
So I just go to the documentation. Oh, there's no documentation. That's
right. Oh man, I got it. That one left the mark. That one left the mark.
Sorry, I couldn't resist the joke.
No worries.
You do a great
come
work,
to Friday
Joe.
Hang. You should see the hazings I get on Friday Hangouts. Okay. So does that help? I think that strategy could help you. Okay.
Huge.
Okay. So now let's do a different thing. You wanted the ability to have different templates. So let's say this blog form, has this template. I need to have an optional one to have a different template. Right?
Yep.
Okay. So there's nothing stopping us from having as many blog forms as we want for one blog. Okay.
Interesting.
So let's say I'm going to call this blog template 1. Okay. And then I'm going to duplicate this. And I'm going to call this one blog content 2. Okay. And then let's pretend in blog template 2, I put in a different template. Okay. Now the form is still going to save to the same CMS ID. Both forms are going to save to the same Total CMS blog ID.
All right.
But I just have multiple forms. Each form is going to define a different blog template.
So
okay.
It doesn't matter which one I utilize to post the blog in the blog list?
No. Nope. It doesn't. So then all you're going to do is you're going to have something like this, right? So let's say this is my blog admin list page, right? So I have a blog list up here. And then all I'm going to do is create a block grid up here. And then we're going to do we're going to link. And then we're going to say
template 1 and template 2.
Exactly. And then this button's going to link to blog template 1. And then I'm going to create another one. And this one's going to link to template 2. And you could have as many as you want, right? Oops. There we go. Set that. Right. Excellent. And then you probably want to add something up here. So, like you probably had like a header here, right? That's like, yeah.
So you know what you're dealing with each time.
Exactly. Right. So that you have some sort of reference when you're on the page, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's just semantics or details, readability.
Boom.
Excellent. Okay.
Right. So then when you preview this page, and then here, let's just be thorough, right? We go up here and we do new blog, and then you can have different buttons. Preview this page, right? So here I can create a new blog from template 1 or a new blog from template 2. If I click on template 1, it takes me to the blog form page for that type of blog.
Perfect.
Right. And then, if I wanted template 2, when I go here, I click that and it takes me to my template 2.
And so all of the, if I use labels and tags, et cetera, that's all saved to the same CMS database.
Yep.
And it just,
exactly.
Excellent. Excellent, excellent. So these are just front ends to the back end data, period. I'm just creating different front ends.
Yep, exactly.
All right.
All right.
Easy.
Now, some other things on the content side that are useful. Okay. There is something called a layout rule. Okay, in blog. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's say, for example, remember how we said you're going to have content, and then this will have your ad thing, and then you have extra content. And what if you have a blog post that doesn't have an extra content to area? So you didn't want to display the ad and content for it. You only want to display the ad and content here if extra content to actually has content.
Yep.
Right? Because maybe you have a short blog post that you're only going to have one ad in the middle. Okay.
Exactly.
So in this layout rule, you would just say, and watch, I probably didn't. I picked a field that you can't actually build a rule off of. I didn't. I did. What a prick. Okay.
That's all right.
But layout rule, so you could do something like this. So you could say if tag is, I don't know, 2 ads, I don't know, whatever. Right. So if tag is 2 ads, then display this. Right. So you can build out things like, based off if it's featured or if it's draft or if it's archived or if the author is set to something or if tags or categories, you can do all kinds of stuff here. Okay. Mm-hmm. And basically it's, it allows you to do stuff like that.
Except if check if it has text or not.
Yeah, you know what? I'm surprised. I will add that to my list of things to do. Because I think that I added that to there's also a layout rule in the blog list stack. And it does allow you to do that, but
okay.
You can't do it in the blog post page, probably because no one asked for it. So
now you have a use case for it.
Now we have a use case for it. Exactly. So yeah, there's a layout rule. I mean, it works a little bit differently than on the blog list than the blog post, but it's the same general concept.
Now you know what's going to happen here. One of your great project guys are going to see this and they're going to say, hey, I can make a project that has multiple blog templates.
Exactly. Yes. There we go. And they'll take all the credit for it.
They'll take all the credit for it. Yep. Good work, Joe. All right.
Does that, I think that answers most of your questions on templated blogs.
It provides a lot of support there. Yes, it does. It will help me a lot. I appreciate that.
At least it'll get you going. I'm sure you'll probably have some questions as you keep going, but
I have a habit of finding areas where I want new text. It's not there.
Oh, you look like a troublemaker. So yeah,
I am. Ask my wife. Ask anyone who's worked with me. I'm always saying, yeah, but why can't you do this?
Yep. You had a question on feeds. What was your question on feeds?
Well, it may not have one. I was just thinking about one of the ways of providing the content to the status page, which would be to edit, have a shared file, maybe on iCloud or some other place where I could then tie a feed to it. In other words, this text you're seeing that's going into our CMS, I change it on, because you don't have a blog editor, native blog editor. So if I could open up a file and change it in that, then I could just, without having to go log into the website.
Sure. So I do have a solution for you. Okay. And this one is documented. Okay. This one is documented. Okay. We're going to go to the community.
All right.
And
by the way, I love the Foundation 6 website documentation.
Oh, just thank FYI. You. Excellent. Okay, so Total CMS in version 1.9, I added the ability to import and export from a blog. Okay, so what that allows you to do is you can export a blog to a CSV file. make whatever edits you want, and then re-import that CSV file, and it will update or add new blog posts based on the data you add to the CSV file.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So basically all you have to do is go to the URLs defined here. Here, let's go ahead and I will let's copy this. We'll show you an example. Or we'll do the export. All right, so go there, and then all you have to do is you put in your CMS license, because I don't want anyone just to go to your blog and export your data, right? So you have to put in your license key and the CMS ID of the blog. Okay.
Sure.
Let's go ahead and do. There we go, and I'll export blog, and I click export. And
what are you using for your text macros?
Typinator.
Typinator, okay.
It's not the prettiest looking app, but it's fast and tried and true for over a decade. I've been using it, so
I get that.
Okay. So there we go. So now I have the CSV file, okay, that has all of the data. I can edit anything, tags, the actual content, author, all that. Everything's here. The only thing that's not here is images. You can't, because CSV is text. It doesn't allow you to update or add images. Okay.
Nope.
So whatever images you have in a blog post will remain there. Okay. But it allows you to change everything else. And then conversely, once I edit that data, I can then go into the import. All right. And then you put it, same thing, you put your license key, your CMS ID, and then you can browse to that CSV file and import it. Okay.
Okay.
And all the documentation for this is right here on the page. So
fantastic. Thank you, Joe.
So yeah, I know people that really use this to, I have Bill Burden is you probably might have seen him. He's around. He has an extensive collection of stamps, and he has a very large website that catalogs thousands of stamps. And he basically uses this import and export to, bulk modify thousands of records, much easier than he could having to go one by one, right? Because you can do global search and replace and all kinds of stuff in your CSV file, export that
exactly.
and then import it, right? So
right.
The import and export utility is really good.
Very good. By the way, when you get around to in your free time to creating that class browser and manager, be sure to have global search replace.
Okay, we'll see if that will be possible.
When I'm refactoring the project, I like being able. It'd be nice people to go through and see what I've gotten and rename them appropriately as needed.
Yes. Cool.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Anything
my
else?
Pleasure. Well, while I'm here on the live stream, I just want to show some people something I did today, actually with feeds. While we're here. I'm sharing anymore. Stop sharing. Let me just share this really quick, if you don't mind, Scott.
Of course not.
Simple implementation. So, Julia on the community wanted to have a select box that had like 200 entries. Okay. And she didn't want to go through and manually add 200 of these select option stacks, right? Like, who wants to do that? Okay. So, super easy to do with feeds. Okay. So with feeds, you can provide a CSV feed and just put, you don't need to provide a CSV file. You can just type the CSV directly into here, into the data. And then basically what I can do is, for every item in this data, I'm just going to create a select option, right? So here we go. That has 1, 2, 3, but if you see it now created a select option for each data point in there, which is pretty slick.
What is the delimiter for that? I didn't see that.
Delimiter for what? I'm sorry.
For the items. The item delimiter.
They're commas.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted, like, let's say she didn't want to have a different label and value combination. Let's say she just wanted one value, and it's whatever shows up in the label will also be submitted to the form. Basically, then you would just do there. So basically, I only have a one column CSV data, so of label. So the first row here is my label. That's the header of my spreadsheet, quote unquote, right? And then here's the rest of my data, right? So I have 1, 2, 3. Then when I preview that, there we go. And then when I submit this, it'll be the same thing, right? So
fantastic.
Yeah. So just kind of maybe an unconventional use of feeds, because most people are thinking I'm going to parse the CSV to display data. Here's just a really simple way of using it, which is I just have an entire list of something, and I want to create 200 options in a select box for it. Easy to do with feeds.
Very nice.
Cool.
Very nice.
Well, Scott, I appreciate you taking up so much of your time to come on with me. Is there any other questions that I can help you out with while we're on?
You are fantastic. Nope, I loved it. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Cool. So thank you very much, Scott, and we'll see you on the community asking your questions.
Unfortunately for you, yes, you will.
Cool. Thank you. Take care, everybody. Thank you very much, Scott. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
So thank you very much, everybody, for coming on. I appreciate it. Hopefully you got a little bit out of that. We didn't go totally beginner there, but it was fun to talk with Scott and see what his challenges were. And I think the templated blog idea is a pretty cool one, right? Where you can, create different templates for as many different blog post types as you want, right? You can completely customize the form. Like maybe one form you have images and the other one you don't. I don't know, something like that, right? But totally interesting to create multiple different types of blog posts. And there we go. Hope you enjoy that. Take care, everyone. Hopefully we'll see you on Friday at the Hangout. And go get your summit ticket. Summit.weavers.space. Tickets available now, 1 month from right now. Don't miss out. And hope to see you guys there. Take care, everyone. Bye.